Hello friends! Today we are going to take another look at our alphabet book. This is the front cover, back cover, and the title. The title of this book is Alphabet Book, and this is the spine. Now, just like our big book of poems, this book also has a whole bunch of poems, but these poems are all alphabet poems. When I open it up, I see the title page. That's just to remind you of the title in case you forgot. And when I turn the page again, I see a special place called the Table of Contents. The Table of Contents tells you where to find things. Today, we will be looking at 2 letter poems for the letters U and V. Before we look at them, let's talk a little bit more about those letters. Just like you and I have names, letters have names too. And when we write our names, we use an uppercase letter. Each letter has both an uppercase and a lowercase. Before I write these letters, I want to remind you, this is the sky, the grass, and the ground. Some letters start in the sky and some start in the grass. All right, friends, let's write the letter U. For uppercase U, I start in the sky, curve to the ground, touch the sky, and a tiny tail on the ground. For lowercase u, I start in the grass, curve to the ground, slide to the grass, and a tiny tail on the ground. Now, sometimes people like to write theirs just straight down, but again, Miss G likes to add the little tail. So, my friends, what do you notice about uppercase U and lowercase u? You're right, uppercase U is bigger, but they both look exactly the same. They're both made of big curved lines that start at the top and curve down and then back up. And kind of like an upside down rainbow. Now, my friends, let's write the letter V. For the letter V, I start in the sky, diagonal down, diagonal up. For lowercase v, I start in the grass, diagonal down, diagonal up. What do you notice about uppercase V and lowercase v? You're right. Uppercase V is bigger too, but they both look exactly the same. They're both made of 2 diagonal lines that dip down almost like an ice cream cone. Now let's look at both letters. What do you notice? Well, they both have parts that start up at the top and go down and then back up. But for U, those lines are curved, and for V, those lines are pointy. Now that we know a little bit about the letters U and V, let's read some poems about them. Remember, we can check the table of contents to see where we can find them. I see the letter U is going to be on page 44, and the letter V is going to be on page 46. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to the page for our letter U poem first. And remember, before we start, it's always good to make some observations. So what do you notice about the illustrations on this page? What do you see? You might say, I see some kids playing baseball. What else do you notice? Well, it looks like this boy has his bat upside down, and that's kind of silly. Oh, and this girl has some fun-looking pants, and it looks like it's a nice sunny day. Wow, those were some pretty good observations. I think we're ready to read our poem about the letter U. Batter up, called the umpire. I took the batter's stance and looked up at the pitcher who wore some ugly pants. Underneath the hot sun upon the dusty field, I swung and missed 1, 2, 3, and now my luck was sealed. Maybe I'm unlucky or just a little slow. My baseball bat was upside down. How was I to know? Oh man, that sure was a fun poem about things that start with the letter U. And he sure is silly holding his bat like that. And I know that he said that the pitcher had some ugly pants, but that's just to make the poem silly. We don't actually say things like that to our friends because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Again, this is just for a silly poem. All right, friends, let's look at our poem for the letter V. And just like always, what do you notice about this poem? You might say, I see some people in a big blue van. And it looks like they have some luggage up there. And they're driving on a road near some trees and some bushes and flowers. And it looks like there's a little market that's outside. And this man is selling some different things. I see a violin, a vase, a vest, and a dog. Oh, and these flowers. Silly me. These flowers, those are violets. Violets are purple. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm sure that if we read our poem, we can find out. Are you ready? We took our family van to Vermont one day, to a very special market, not so very far away. We found a violin, some vases, and a vest, a veil made of velvet. Oh, that must be the veil. And then we headed west. That was such a fun poem. All right, friends, let's play a game. Every time you hear a word with a V, I want you to pretend that you're playing a violin. Are you ready, friends? We took our family van to Vermont one day, to a very special market not so very far away. We found a violin, some vases and a vest, a veil made of velvet, and then we headed west. I am so glad we read all of those fun poems together and got to talk about letters. I love reading poems with you. You're doing amazing. I'll see you again later.